your hands in prayer, keeping that opening across your chest. Good. Poke the buttock bones down into the blankets. Pull the abs back so you're still feeling the base. From the lowest part of your spine, draw energy up. Feel your breath. Relax the face. Go ahead and close the eyes. Relax the face. We'll begin with one Om aloud. When you're ready, inhale. Om. Bow your head down and continue to feel your breath. And bring your hands to your legs. Raise your head, open up your eyes, and then stretch your legs out. And really stretch the backs of your legs, buttock bones to heels, and stretch your feet. Sit up nice and tall. And then arms up if that's working for your shoulders. Good, keep breathing. And then reach them out and down. Okay, so I think the internet was a little bit spotty in the very beginning. So if it was kind of like jumping around, that was on my side. But it seems like it's fine now. So let's sit up kind of high, either on a bolster or two blankets, so that you have a little bit of height under your hips for some twists. And then we'll bring the right, let's have the feet apart a little bit to start, and then bring the right knee up. Good, and sit up nice and tall. Reach up if you can, breathe. And then out with the arms. Turning gently to the straight leg side first. So yeah, so there you go. Sitting up really tall, pull your belly back a little bit, broaden across the chest. Good, and then keep your legs, and we're just gonna turn the other way. So the twist could be kind of mild at first, but really sit up nice and tall. Make sure you're breathing. And come on back in the middle. And now let's change the legs, standing up the left. And first, just sit up really tall. Reach up if you can. And then out with your arms. And we'll turn to the straight leg first. So that's the right hand that's going to go behind you. Good. Pull your belly back a little, sitting really tall. Broaden across the collarbones. And then come in the middle, and we'll keep the legs, and we'll just change the turning. Good. Keep breathing. And then back into the middle, and take the two legs out, feet a little bit apart, reach up, and reach out. And then let's just do that again. When you reach up, inhale, kind of a long inhale. And then reach out, exhaling. Good. And now bending your right knee back up. Sitting up tall. Okay, so we're going to turn to the straight leg side, and then if it feels reasonable, you're going to put your right elbow on the inside of the knee. Push against the knee pushes back, and you turn a little bit more towards your waist, a little bit more to the left. Just keep breathing. And then keep your legs, come in the middle. Now this might not happen at this early part of the class, but we could see you're going to start turning to the bent leg side. And if it feels reasonable, you could put your elbow on the outside. If that's too fast, you just stay with the arm wrapped. Keep breathing and pulling your belly Now to the right. And then that's good. And then release and changing the legs. So this is looking good. We're going to turn to the straight leg side first. If it feels reasonable to put the elbow on the inside of the knee and push, then you can. Otherwise, you can certainly just hold with the wrap. Couple breaths here. And then into the center. And I usually wrap first and get a little bit around and then see if I can get my elbow around. And then breathe, because it's hard to breathe. So you have to remind yourself to breathe, pulling the belly back and left. Releasing back center. 2 feet a little bit apart, legs straight. Get comfortable on your which you're seated on so you don't feel like you're sliding. Reach up with an inhale and out with the exhale. And we're just going to do that again, kind of sweeping in and up with the breath and then out with the breath with the arms. Good. Okay. So right knee bending back up to ceiling, and if you can, bringing the left leg into Baddha Konasana. And then we'll gently turn to the Baddha Konasana side, kind of the open side. So this, I usually turn to the open side first. And then leave the legs and wrap, and we're going to revolve. And so this would be kind of that closed side where your belly's getting closer to the thigh. So just take your second turn now. There you go. And then back into the middle. You could do your legs like this if it feels okay. You can just switch the legs like that. If not, you could straighten them and then bend up the left and take the right in Baddha Konasana. And then the first is going to turn to the right, to the open side. There you go. Breathing. And we'll just leave the legs, and we're going to carefully revolve around the other way. That's it, yeah. And just observe how it is on your back and your belly when you're turning, you know, on the closed side and the open side. And then undo it and put the 2 legs out straight, feet a little bit apart, and then sweep the arms up with the inhale and out with the exhale. And again, when you're ready, inhaling, sweeping up, and exhaling out. Alrighty, so then we're going to just repeat, taking right knee bent to ceiling, left leg in Baddha Konasana. And then this time, if it feels comfortable, you're going to drop elbow on the inside as we turn to left. Breathe. A little bit, the energy of the belly has to go back. Good, and then keeping legs center. Now again, just like we did before, if it doesn't make sense to get the elbow around this fast in the morning, you know, then you stay wrapped. But you could test it and see how that is. Observe how your belly feels different in this turning in this closed side. And then releasing. And if you like to do that where you just flop the top knee down, you can. Otherwise, straightening the legs and then rebending. So it'll be right leg in Baddha Konasana when you're ready. Optional to put left elbow on the inside of the left knee, right hand behind as you're revolving gently to the Baddha Konasana side. You have to stabilize your hips. Pull the energy of the belly back a little bit. Make sure you're breathing. And then we'll come in the middle. Do sit up tall. Try to get a little more space for your waist. And then if it makes sense to get that elbow around, you can. If that's way too fast in the morning, you just wrap. Great. Breathe here. Observe the difference in the belly and the waist turning onto this side. And then releasing center. 2 legs out forward. Really stretch the legs. Separate the feet a little bit. When you're ready, inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale them out. And one more time, inhaling, sweeping up. And then exhaling the arms out. Good. Okay, so we're going to go to a wide leg position. For many of you, you don't need to sit quite this high, but for maybe half of the class, a single blanket under the hips will be nice. And for some of you, you might be happier right down flat on the floor. So just seeing where your hamstrings, inner groins, inner thighs are in a reasonable sort of stretch, and in that your lower back is not aching. So if any of those things are bothering you, then sit up on more blankets. Okay, so have the angle of the legs nice and even, press the legs towards the floor. Let's put the hands behind for a moment and really sit up tall. Energy of the abdomen back, breathing. And we'll turn towards the right leg. So your left hand's gonna come in the center, your right hand is there behind you. Good, and just keep your spine upright like that, nice and long up through the top of the head. And as we're revolving right, left leg, back leg has to push down. Good job. And then keeping legs nice and stable, we're gonna go center and second side, turning now to the left, keeping that right leg heavy, breathing. And then to the center. So like I said, as we stay in this wide position, if your back starts to ache, hamstrings are pulling too much, you sit up on more blankets if you need to. Keeping your legs really firm to the ground, take your right hand and slide it down the right leg, and then stretch your left arm open away from it. Press the legs down, roll your chest open, a little bit the belly energy kind of has to go back. And then let's come up, legs really firm as you come up, and we'll do that on the other side. So the arms are stretching open, chest is open, energy of the belly is slightly toned, legs are to the ground, and you're breathing. And up you come, legs strong. And again, over right when you're ready. Pressing the legs down. Now, if you're feeling like this is pretty easy and you want to go deeper, your bottom arm, your right arm, you could start to bend it. And maybe reach the top arm over a little bit. Legs have to go down though. And then up you come. Legs, 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 firm as we go over the other side. Optional to stay here with the arms just stretching open or lowering that left arm and bringing your right arm over. But the legs stay. Either way the arms are, the legs stay. And then up you come. Good, okay, so let's go for a moment, go to bend your legs and with your help and with your hands, and let's go to the back for a moment. Just bending your two knees, recline your back all the way down and rest for a moment so that your shoulder blades, middle ribs, hips are just resting. So you're just gonna soften your back and belly here for a moment. Okay, so we might come back up into that wide position in a moment, but let's do a few things while I've got you here reclining. So you could cross your right ankle over your left knee and gently draw your legs in if you like. Soften the belly. Keep breathing. And then releasing and changing sides. So I'm not gonna give a whole lot of instruction on this. You guys know this one, so you can pull the legs in if you want. And then undo it, and we're just gonna repeat that. So when you're ready, do your first side. Make sure you're breathing. And then second side. Good. Okay, draw the knees into the chest. Now stretch hamstrings. So we could catch the back of the right leg and straighten the right leg. You could put your left foot on the floor. Good. Couple breaths here. Optional to slide the left leg out on the ground. You want to straighten out the other leg. It kind of intensifies the work in the pose. If that's too much, of course, you just send it back in. So you're breathing. And now let's change over to the other leg. So take your time when you're ready. Catch the left one, extend it, and then it's optional to stay here or stretch the right leg out. 4 breaths. Check in with yourself, how you're feeling. If it's getting too hard, the leg that's on the floor, you can just rebend it. Good. And then bend both and put 2 feet on floor, knees bent. Get your heels kind of close to your body and then lift your hips up a tad and walk your arms together behind you. So you're kind of sitting on your arms. And then really softly lift your hips up. So not as high as you can. Just start getting the sense of the hamstrings lifting. And you'll feel your quads. But try to also get the backs of your legs to be part of the pose. And then come on down and let your arms slide out and let your feet go away a little just so that you can relax your back. And then let's stretch the hamstrings again. Bring your right leg up and either hold your toe or the thigh. And then if you can, straighten your other leg on the floor. And then second side. So either holding the toe or the back of the leg, and then if you can, straighten the other leg on the floor. Make sure you're breathing. And then bend the knees and put 2 feet on floor. Get your hips close to your heels. Lift up and get your arms under you. And then this time, see if you can lift the backs of your thighs, your hips, but also try to start lifting at your waist and your ribs. Make sure you're breathing. And then undo it. And when you come down, let your arms slide out and put your whole back down. Okay, so let's roll over and sit up again in the wide legs. And those of you that need a little bit of a blanket underneath your hips, take that. And when you go wide, don't make it too wide. So you should feel like balanced and even with your legs. Okay, so we're just gonna start again like we did, right arm down, left arm up. Optional to stay here with the chest just opening like this, or lowering the bottom arm and reaching the top one over. Legs really firm to the ground as you come on up, and we're gonna go over the other side just like that. Optional to stay open or lower the bottom arm and reach over, make sure you're breathing. And then come on up. Now keep your legs, and sit up really tall, but face towards the right leg. So we're gonna first just turn there. And now your back leg, your left leg, really keep it firm to the ground. Reach your fingertips forward, and so they're kind of to the inside and outside of the knee. And at first, just really lift your chest, lengthen your spine, and the back leg goes down, down, down. sure you're breathing. And then creep back on up. And let's go to the middle and sweep the arms up. Inhale. And out, exhale. And then we're going to turn to the left, keeping the right leg really heavy and creep the fingers out. Long spine, back leg goes down. Keep breathing. And then back into the center. And then legs go down and inhale, sweep arms up. And exhale, arms out. Turning right, left leg heavy, creep forward. Breathing, keeping your back leg really strongly down now. Curl over your front leg. And then come back on up, long spine. Back in the middle, reach up, inhale. Reach out, exhale. And then turning over the left, long spine. And then breathe and curl over the front leg. And then up with the spine. Legs are firm, and then inhale and reach up. Exhale and reach the arms out. Okay, let's go back over to right. Curl. And this time when you come up, reach your arms up. Exhaling, arms out. Turning to the left. Creeping forward. Curling. Inhale, reach arms up. Kind of turn yourself back center and exhale, reach the arms out. Turning right. Arms forward, curling. Back leg goes down. And then as you come up, reach up, inhale. And then turn center, arms go out. Exhale, and then turn left. Creep fingers forward. Keep your legs down as you go curling over that left leg. And then as you inhale, reach your arms up. And then just reach your arms out and be here. Now, I hope you're okay. If you need a break, then you'll lay on your back and draw your knees into your chest. So depending on how your back has been doing, a few of you might need to lay down. And then those of you that are still feeling, stable and everything, you're going to reach your right hand down, left arm, sweep it over, and then come up, keep your legs. Now you're going to turn to your left leg, come over it, curl over it, and then come on up, and we're going to come with the right arm over the right leg, and reach the left arm over, and then come up, and now you're kind of facing your left leg. Just come back over it, curl over it, and now one more time towards the right leg. Left arm over and up you come, and one more time facing that left leg, curl over it, and come up. Okay, so just sit in the center. So it's kind of a lot for me to say with words. You just really want to be breathing as you're doing this and keeping your legs really grounded. So we'll do the other side. Going with the left arm over the left leg and then the right arm up and over. And then when you come up, you're kind of facing the right leg. Just stay that direction and curl over it. Breathing, come up, and then you're going to go to that left arm. You got it. And the right arm goes over. And you're coming up, and then you're facing towards the right leg, and you just pull over it, legs down, as then you come up one more time. One more time. There you go. Keep breathing. And then facing that left leg, and you can kind of curl over it. Beautiful, you guys. And then come on up, and now we'll lay on the back. So help your legs with your hands, bring them in, and when you're ready, just keep your knees bent, recline. Just lay there with your legs bent and let your back settle. So breathe, feel your belly soft, your chest soft. Follow your breath. Good. Okay, so then 2 legs down on the floor straight. and push the legs down. If it's okay for your shoulders, take your arms up and over, stretch your arms overhead, and push the legs towards the floor. Make sure you're breathing. And then bring your arms down and bend your legs. Let's cross the right ankle over the left knee again and do this hip stretch that we did a few moments ago. Optional to pull the legs in. And change sides. Stop breathing. All right, and then flatten the two legs out on the ground, really push them down. Breathing. Good. Okay, so those of you that feel comfortable in cross legs on the ground, you can bend the knees out, cross the ankles, and lower the legs down. If that's not comfortable, you can either go back to two straight legs, or you could do the one where you're just crossing the ankle over the knee. So you got to really watch out how your knees and hips are feeling in these. If you don't like the way it feels in cross legs on the floor, then it would be better to do the other poses we did before. Stretch the arms over your head if that feels good. If your back is like naturally lifting, just let it. You don't have to force your back down. And then we're going to change the cross of the legs. If you need to move your arms, that's fine. Otherwise, you could just leave them there. If you want to bring your arms down just to rest them, that's fine too. Feel your breath. And then let's bring arms down and bring feet to floor for Setu Bandha. So get your hips kind of close to your heels, get your arms under you, lift your hips, walk your arms more together. If you can clasp your hands, do. And now lift your chest, your back ribs up, the backs of your thighs up. Sure you're breathing. And then under your arms and lower your body on down. Okay, so roll over and we're going to use a rolled blanket to open up the upper back a little bit. So some of us might need two blankets. So a few of us will need a blanket underneath the head for this. You want to make sure your neck is not at all uncomfortable. So if you're feeling like maybe you need it a little bit easier today, then you just got to get that blanket ready. The other blanket, roll it up a little bit. And you don't really need to roll it the whole way, just have it kind of that narrow roll. Keep your legs bent and lay over the rolled blanket. Take arms out. It's optional to use this other blanket under your head. Or if it feels fine, you could put your head all the way to the ground if it feels fine in your neck. Arms go out. Just leave your legs bent and have the rolled blanket at the bottom of your shoulder blade if you can sort that out. And so opening the upper back, breathing, your lower back shouldn't ache, your neck shouldn't ache. So if either of those are happening, then you need to come out of the pose, take either more under your head or change the roll smaller if necessary. So at first, now take your feet as wide as your mat and drop your knees together. And kind of slightly push your knees towards one another. Gently pull the belly down softly, just like so the energy is not spilling up. Feel what that's like in your lower back. And then put the two legs on the ground together and straight down. Breathe and feel what that's like on your lower back. And then cross the legs in simple cross legs and feel what that's like in your lower back. Now, if your back is spasming and you need to come up, then of course you're going to roll over and come up. But then if you're comfortable here, stretch your arms over your head. You could put your legs in any of the positions that feel the best in your back. Make sure you're breathing. And try folding the legs the other way if they're crossed. If you need to come up, you just roll over. Good, okay, so bending now the two legs, feet to floor, bring your arms down, roll to the side, and sit all the way up. So let's just sit up for a moment. So we have head over heart for a few breaths here. Just letting the blood pressure normalize. Yeah. Okay, so as we go forward with any of these positions opening up the upper back, if you're ever feeling any strain in your neck, you just grab a blanket for your head. So I'd like it if you have a bolster. We're going to do it with a bolster, and then that's where you might need a blanket pillow for your head. But if you don't have a bolster, you could use 2 blankets and roll them up and make a bolster like that. But then you would maybe need to grab something else for your head potentially. Not everyone, some of us can just do this with nothing underneath the head, but I'm going to grab my bolster because I've got one. We're going to do the same pose, just simple cross legs laying back. And so in this one, what I do is I sit in cross legs and lay over it. And for me, the neck is fine like that, but for some of you, you might need a pillow there just to have it in case. So you could fold the legs crossed and recline, and I don't have the bolster right next to my hips when I'm laying on it. So when I lay over it, I would have it a little bit away. So you could try it. That's fine, Mary. Yeah. No, go ahead. You're fine. Go ahead. Lay over it. Yeah, so your hips stay down and your shoulders might not be down. So don't worry if you don't need your shoulders on the floor, you need your hips on the floor and the neck comfortable. So always using a blanket under the head if needed. Let's see if you could take your arms out. And of course, if this is too much, just go back to the rolled blanket one. So don't make it too hard. If the legs are in cross legs, change the cross and see if you could take your arms over and now hold your forearms and take your arms over your head bent. And make sure you're breathing. And then bring the arms back out at the sides, and you could either sit up or roll over to come out of it. So either one is fine. If you would rather roll over, that's fine, or if you want to just sit all the way up. Okay, so now child's pose with support. Take the bolster or your blankets in front of you and come into child's pose with the support under your chest. Relax your belly. Feel your breath. It comes a little bit into your back. Just feel it. And let's see if we can come into downward facing dog. So if you can't do dog pose, you could always stay in child's pose. And for the dog pose, you could just move that bolster, turn your toes, lift up with your legs. And just bend your knees a little bit at first and go way up with your hips, stretch your arms, feel your breath. Your heels up, take your hips up, and then slowly start straightening your legs and pulling your heels back. So sometimes that's too much. So you might need to rebend your knees and just come down if you need to. So you're really going to sense your own strength level, your energy level. If you need to rest, you'll come into child's pose. Feeling your breath, keeping your hips up. It's okay to bend your knees every once in a while if you need to. Good. And then come into any comfortable seated pose. All right, so I'm just going to demonstrate one thing. I do this a lot with you guys, so it won't be unfamiliar. But I just want to show you there's an option. Since we've got some of the props out, we could use props in this one. Lots of times I teach it with your hands on the floor, but I just wanted you to see that you could do it this way. So I've put all of my stuff there, bolster with the blankets on it, and then I'm going to bend my knees a little bit and bring my hands down. You could be on the tips of your fingers, you know, like if your wrists get sore, or you could be on a flat palm. The arms are straight, and then I'm going to slowly straighten my legs and pulling chest forward. So this is a half Uttanasana. And just so that you can see, this is the way we do it a lot of the times when we're just using the floor. But I just wanted you to see it's available to take it a little higher. So if you've got that stuff ready, then just go ahead and stand, have your knees bent, and bring the tips of your fingers or the flat palm down on all of your blankets, and then pull your chest forward. Try to straighten your arms and pull your chest forward. There you go. Let your legs just be bent and pull your chest forward. Yeah, and there you go. Now keep breathing and try to slowly straighten your legs, but your spine and your chest stay forward. So Scott, your hands have to come further back. Just pull it back. Yeah, there you go. Don't lean so far forward. Try to keep your hips over your heels. Yeah, yeah. Good. Okay, so let's bend the knees and stand. So curl your belly muscles to the spine and stand just so that you have a little bit of a break. Okay, so just be very comfortable to watch for a sec. So you're there, and then you're lengthening the spine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try to lift one leg. So I feel like I'm more comfortable with my feet closer to one another. And then I'm going to lift one leg straight back behind. Okay, it doesn't have to lift really high. So let's try it. Bring your feet like maybe an inch apart, inch or two apart, bend your knees. Bring the tips of your fingers or your flat palm down on your stack of stuff. Stretch your arms more. There, yeah. Pull the belly muscles up a little bit, and then see if you can slowly straighten your legs, but still stretch your arms. Keep your quads really pushing against the bone, Shift a little more weight onto your right foot and lift your left leg straight back behind you, but pull your spine forward. Pull your spine forward more so you're long from the top of your head to your heel. Good, and then lower it. You can bend your legs a little when you're lowering. And then re-straighten your legs, tighten the quads, shift a little bit to your left as you lift the right. But pull out with your spine and pull out with your right heel. The head is not down in this. The head is forward. Long spine. Good, and then lower, bend your knees a little as you lower, and then really bend them as you stand. So just kind of curl your belly back, and there you go. Good. Okay. All right, that was good. Go ahead and move your stuff and take downward facing dog again. If you can do downward dog, go ahead and move that stuff and take the thighs back. Straighten the arms. If you cannot be in dog pose, you could do a half Uttanasana again. Good. And then come all the way down and you're going to lay on your belly. So sometimes it's nice to have a blanket pad under your belly. If you need that little extra padding there, just throw that blanket down. And then really stretch your legs back behind you. We're going to stretch the belly a little bit. So you're going to bring your left arm in front like a prop, bend your right leg, reach back with your right hand and see if you can catch your foot. Gently, gently bring your heel closer to your buttocks, take your tailbone down, and the front of your right thigh is flowing towards the knee. And then releasing and keeping the other side. Breathing. Good job. Couple breaths here. Tailbone down. Just envision that the thigh of the bent leg, the tissues are flowing towards the knee. And then undo, and we'll repeat the first side. Take your time. When you're ready, catch the right. Lower the tailbone. Make sure you're breathing. Release the right, reach back left when you're ready. And then let's do Salabhasana. So straighten your two legs, bring them together. Pull your tailbone down, lengthen your ribs forward away from your legs, get long through your belly and your back. Tighten your knees, tighten your legs, and then bring your forehead down and your arms back. Breathe, and then lift your arms and legs, lift your chest, look forward. Lift as high as you can with the arms and the legs. Good, and then undo it and rest. And really relax. So I wiggle a little bit right and left with my legs and my hips to get my back muscles and the leg muscles to relax. And then we'll prepare again, squeezing the two legs together. Tighten the knees. Breathe, lift the arms, lift the legs. Now try lifting your arms more. Now try lifting your legs more. Good. And then undo it and come on down. Really relax. If you can really easily grab both feet, then you'll bend both, lift your chest and reach back and take your feet. If you can't do that, then just do the right.
So you've either got 2 feet, and if you've got 2 feet, lift your arms and your chest and lift up. And if you're only doing the right side, then just repeat on the left side. And then release and let yourself down.
Shake it out a little bit. Good. Okay, so then hands and knees. Come to hands and knees. And we're going to come into plank position if you can. So straighten your legs back and come into the top part of a push-up. Lift your abs up a little bit. Lengthen the crown of the head to the heels. Good. And then just lower yourself all the way to your belly. All the way down to your belly. Good. Hands and knees. Straighten your legs. Plank. Tighten your abs, pull your heels back, and then bend your elbows and go all the way to your belly. Relax your arms. Are you guys okay? You doing okay? Bend your 2 legs. Go up onto your forearms. Go up onto your forearms. And lift your chest up a little bit. Pull your belly so this is difficult to do, but try to pull your navel up towards your spine and take your tailbone down and breathe. And then just see if you can bring your feet a little closer. Yeah, and then undo it. Turn your toes way under, walk them way under. Straighten your legs back behind you, walk your toes way under. And then one hand by your chest, the other hand by your chest, and then see if you can push all the way up to plank. If you can't, then you go to hands and knees. Pull your heels back, and then bend your elbows and lower yourself all the way to the floor. And then relax your arms, relax your legs. Good job, you guys. You're doing great. All right, go ahead and roll over and sit on that. Okay, so where are we? All right, so if you have a bolster, we're going to use it for a supported back bend, and if you don't have a bolster, we'll use 2 blankets. So if you have a bolster, put it long ways on your mat. And if you don't have that, then you can use 2 blankets, sort of folded up in that long, narrow fold to make what's like the shape of a bolster. I do this in the restorative class a lot, so you guys might know it, and then you could just do it if you know it. So I'm sitting on it. I turn sideways, I leave my legs bent. Bring my whole back, or not my whole back, but I'm laying my spine onto the blanket, and then it's just my shoulders that touch down, head and shoulders. So it's a back bend for the spine, but it's very supported. So head and shoulders will come to ground, legs could stay bent. And then I'm gonna just give a glance over at you guys and see how it's going. It. Yeah. So hopefully it feels pretty good. It will certainly feel like it's an opening across your chest and your belly. Just relax your throat. Yeah, everyone's there. That looks great. So then some of you will be happier leaving your legs bent for the lower back. So those with the kind of a tighter lower back would maybe just stay with the knees bent. And others could try sliding the legs out into a semi-straight or straighter leg position, but just sense how it feels in your back. And so if it's too much, you bend them right back in. So sometimes it's just like too much on one side. If that's happening, just bend the two knees back in. And for those that it feels good to put your legs out, sometimes I take mine a little bit wide, like just stepping my feet off of the mat. And then I just let my legs rest. So the chest opens with the arms draped open. And if you have your legs out like that, it's like the pelvis and lower belly is opened by the legs being draped open. Back skull softly flows away from the shoulders. And now, if the legs are out, bend them one at a time and just bring your feet on the floor. Pause and kind of firm a little bit your belly muscles. And then, if you can, you want to either slide all the way to your head side to flatten your back, or you can kind of lift your hips up and push the blankets towards your feet. And then just let your back rest on the ground for a moment. There you go. So I don't know if you can do this just laying down like where you are, but maybe with your feet you can turn your bolster so it's, or your blankets so they're going the other direction, the sort of crossways, and then just let your legs rest on them. If you need to sit up to do that, of course, that's fine. But for some of you, you could just kind of maneuver them with your feet, and then just let your legs rest on them for a moment. Again, just out like under the backs of your thighs or your knees. Yeah. Arms in any comfortable position is fine. And then try folding the legs and cross legs on that stack. And if that's not comfortable, then you just put them back out. And changing the cross. And then rest them back out on the blankets. Just let them drape there. Good. Okay, so roll over, and I'm going to show the next one. And and then I'm going to show two different poses, and then you can choose which one you want to do. So the first, it's going to be a Baddha Konasana pose, and the first first option is that classic Baddha Konasana, restorative, supported Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana that we do with the rolled blanket like this. So this would be for someone who's just really needing to rest at this point and have some support for lower back. So that's option one. And then option two will be for someone who wants to bring a little bit more energy up and open the chest a little bit more. So that would be this version, sitting on the bolster and then the feet in Baddha Konasana on the bolster and the chest open like Setu Bandha. So either one, this one would be more uplifting to the energy. And the first one would be more supportive for the lower back and a slightly more resting energy. So you could choose which one suits you at this time. And you know, you could always try one, and if you change your mind, you could do the other. That's fine too. So if you're doing the one where you started sitting on the prop and laying back, try to bring your feet together in Baddha Konasana on the prop. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it's not crossed ankles, it's feet together. And you certainly could do the first one that's more, a little more restful with the blanket underneath your legs if you prefer. Yeah, so this looks good. If you're in the if you're in the version where you've got your feet on the bolster and your shoulders on the floor, if you get tired of that, if you get irritated in it, then you can just come out of it and go into the first one. So you know, you want to be using the position to serve you the best. So you could be in that first, you could be in that one that has the Setu Bandha chest for a little while and use it to really open up the hips and the pelvis and the belly and the chest. And then if you get tired of it, irritated, you just go into the more resting one. So whichever one you're in, feel your breath. Relax your throat, your jaw. Allow the back skull softly flow away from the shoulders. Now, if you're in a pose that is like you're just hitting this place of absolute bliss, then just stay. So if you are totally in this deepest, most comforting kind of place, then just stay. But the rest of you go into Shavasana. So if you have any part of you that's tired or uncomfortable, come out of your pose and go into Shavasana. And if you're just in this like deeply restful place, you just stay. So that we'll all end up into this place of comfort and quietude where where we can really fall into stillness and into letting go. And at any point, if you want to come into Shavasana, of course, that's fine. So, you know, if you've been staying in this comfortable pose at any point, when you're ready to transition into Shavasana, that's fine. So you're just looking for this deep settling feeling where you can really let your body rest and soften and feel supported. And then there's no more trying or doing here. There's no more making the pose better or there's no opening, there's no striving. It's just letting go and softening and resting and allowing the front of your face to soften and rest back. Allowing the chest to rest back. The weight of the arms and legs to rest to the ground. Feel the natural breath. Perfect. Now, because we're at home, you have the option to stay in Shavasana. Certainly, if you want to stay, you can just stay for as long as you like, and then the others are just really slowly taking your time, moving with your own rhythm. Be gentle with yourself. And as you're coming out of Shavasana, it is a good idea to take a moment to gather yourself, to just softly bring your energy towards you. Feel the space around you, your body and your breath. Because a few people will remain in Shavasana, we'll leave the mics muted so that they don't get like a lot of sound. And just take your time.